Welcome back, guys. Today's topic of Greg's Coffee Talks with me and Tobi is our, main intent about coaching and why we're coaching and who do we actually want to coach, which sounds a little bit cocky, but we'll explain this later on. So, Tobi, why do you coach?
It's a good question. I started coaching when I was first coaching experience I have had as I was a child, as I was playing soccer. So during the warm up, the coach told me, yeah, you have to do the warm up and you're going to do the exercise with all the others. And that was my first coaching experiences. And then I started coaching skiing. As I started studying at the University of Vienna. I also did my Austrian ski instructor license and also did my Canadian level 1. And that was my first real coaching experience. And
Nice.
I just recognized it's something what I really like. It doesn't feel like working with something else. It's just a good feeling, help other people, especially when you coach somebody or when you coach kids in skiing and they are totally scared of skiing or they really have no clue what to do. And you see them after a couple of hours how happy they are, and it doesn't matter which step they did, like if they are able to ski down a red slope or a black slope now. It's more about how happy they are with the feeling of they achieved something themselves, and yeah, they're able to do whatever they want to do now on their skis, and they know what they can do and what they are if they're able to go down a blue or red slope.
Yeah. I think coaching is a lot about eliciting change in people, whatever it means, because I think everybody's coaching. Like no matter if you're a dad, mom, a teacher per se, if you're a friend, technically you're coaching because you're talking to people, you want to help them. You're taking yourself not as seriously in terms of you care literally more about others than about yourself, which needs to be explained a little bit more in detail.
What's the difference for you between coaching and teaching?
I think teaching is a prior step to coaching. But again, this is a blurry line. And this is just maybe about semantics, teaching and coaching. For me, coaching is goes a little bit more away from teaching a certain subject to an audience, to a class. While teaching is you have to pick a certain topic, whether it's physics or skiing or the back squat. And coaching is, yes, you're still teaching that exercise or the specifics of it, but coaching is more even considering how's the person feeling that day, what's their goal of the session. And I think teaching is, as I said, it's a step before coaching. But at the end of the day, teaching is an essential part of coaching. So for our Greg's Academy, for example, there's some stuff you have to learn in theory, because otherwise coaching won't find the ground and soil. So won't find the place where you can actually blossom and do some stuff with it. So you have to learn something. And that means sitting down and reading something or listening something. I think good teachers, and I know a couple of really good teachers, they're trying to find out what road kids or people need to go to in terms of how they want to learn, whether it's via audio or via video or writing or singing, or it doesn't really matter. our goal as coaches is to communicate a certain subject, but it has to hit the audience, right? I remember my first couple of years in coaching. I felt awesome after the coaching sessions when I blurred out all the stuff that I knew had about the back squat or carries or whatsoever. So I felt good because I emptied my backpack of knowledge. What I didn't realize back then is that's great, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what actually stick to people on the other side.
That's pretty much also the the difference for me between coaching and teaching. Like teaching is from like when I was a kid, a teacher is standing in front of you and teaching is something. He's telling you this is yellow and yellow looks like this and you have to learn that and that's it. But coaching is for me more like we are doing it in the Greg's Academy or like we're doing it during our training when we train ourselves or coaching others. It's more like find something, stress something and use it. And teaching, when you teach somebody, for me it's more like giving somebody information and he's trying to understand it and use these informations for himself. But coaching is more like, okay, you giving some opportunities to somebody and help him or her to find his own or her own way. So you're building up a road where he can pick or she can pick up the information she wants and she needs, because everybody needs other informations. And there you can find your own information and build up your own knowledge. And that's more coaching for me compared to teaching. I mean, technically they're pretty much the same, but for me personally, there's a big difference between coaching and teaching.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really matter how you phrase it, how you name it. This is all about semantics, but how people should leave your class or your one-on-one session, how they're feeling. Like if you can elicit a certain feeling within them, whether it's about a hinge or a certain topic, about the torque chains, about, I don't know, then they've won. Although you might, or I might not be like super happy with like their training progress in that session, because you always want to do like 100 exercises and 20,000 reps, etc. But at the end of the day, all that matters is how people are leaving the gym. How are they feeling? Like, are they like pumped in terms, not only muscle wise, but also like, did they gain energy from the session? Like energy for the rest of the day, for the rest of the 24 hours. And I think that's an essential part of coaching. How do you prepare people for the rest of the day? Whether it's the night when they train in the evening, or whether it's for the remainder of the day when they come in for an early session. And I think that's what people are really looking for. Behavioral change. Because yes, I could phrase it as, hey, I want to lose like 3 pounds or gain 20 kilos on a back squat. But at the end of the day, I'm not happy with the way I behave and the way I act. And food or training or whatever is just an outlet of what's actually happening. But at the end of the day, it's always about me being not happy what I did that day on a behavioral base. And I think a lot of people really looking forward for behavioral changes. And that's hopefully what we can work on through training in the Greg's Academy. So who do you want to coach? Or let's start the via negativa, as we say in Latin. Who are you not willing to coach? Because I think that's an essential part of coaching is you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a grown-up coach, you need to know which people you don't want to train. Even more so than knowing who you want to train. So who won't you train?
That's pretty hard to say. I think that also can change very fast. Like it also can change during one training session. It's more when I feel that the person I am coaching right now is open-minded and really want to try some new things, and he's not scared of, or she, of really giving everything he has in his training. That's a long road, like to be able to give everything you have. But if I see, or when I feel that the person is trying to give everything he has or she has, then it's more fun for me, and I'm trying to pick him or her up and take her on the hand and go the same street with her. And
so it's not a matter of like how fit those people are, or if they can already, like, I don't know, deadlift 200 kilos or whatsoever.
The biggest aim for me, or what's the most, how do you say that? Like, the best thing in coaching is seeing a person after his training session being happy. Doesn't matter if he did a 200 kilo back squat or if he did a jump, because he had an accident a couple years ago and he was never jumping since the last 5 years, and he's doing a little jump. Doesn't matter if it was like 5 centimeters or a meter. But if the person is happy with his achievements, then I'm happy too. And that's my aim of the training session every day. So I'm gonna sometimes I don't know even what I'm gonna train with the people, and we just warm up a little bit, and depending on how they're feeling this day. And during our first 5 to 10 minutes, we talk a lot in the first 5 to 10 minutes. Usually we find something he or she want to work on, and at least after 45 minutes, then I have to have the feeling that he or she is getting there. And
so I think that's super important, like building a relationship with your clients. So you can actually, I'm almost starting every single one-on-one session with like, what do you want to do today? But not in a sense of, hey, we just do the fun stuff and like 60-minute AMRAPs or whatever. But I think at a certain point of the relationship with your client, there's an honest base, there's an honest discussion about, okay, this is what we should be doing because of your imbalances and blah, blah, blah. But there should be also enough room for, okay, like what are you curious about? What do you want to do? Like, I don't know. And at some point, people start talking about like certain muscles they wanna engage, or they tell about their epiphanies in like the everyday life when they just, I don't know, like picked up a plate from the shelf and they were like, ooh, my shoulder didn't hurt anymore. Like, that's the cool stuff. Yep. So I think this open source communication, this open-minded communication about, okay, it's not you're telling me what to do in that session, but I don't really care. If we're doing carries or squatting, like, I'm going to prep it for you so you can make the best out of it, depending on your current status. And I think that took me 10 years to realize, okay, this is actual coaching, rather than having a sheet of paper prepared and having like, okay, so 10 minutes of back squat warm up, then we have like 7.5 minutes of warming up on the barbell, and then we're going to go 2.5 kilo plate steps. I think this is a false and fake feeling of control.
I mean, in the beginning of training or coaching gives you a guideline of how you start doing things, but you shouldn't stick to that measurement too much. Like, you don't have to do 20 reps. You don't have to add every set 5 kilos on each side. It's more about, in the beginning, having a guideline, and then you have to get your own information out of it.
Mm-hmm. I'm reading a beautiful book about mathematics now, and I think the first 3 pages says everything about coaching as well. In mathematics, we do think that it's all about the result, right? So 2 + 2 = 4. But that's not what true mathematicians, whatever, like people who do math, are about. They're so interested in that process of like how to get to that result. And even if it gets falsified, so then they don't get the right result, like they learn something out of the process. And translated to the back squat, that means let's not shoot for 100 kilos because that would be a new PR. No, it's about, okay, what happens in the 15 minutes in that build-up? Like how you're warming up, which muscles are engaging, which muscles are not engaging. Are you shifting to the right? Are you shifting to the left? Like that's the actual fun stuff. But like no one told me that that's the true story or that's the real story.
That's also very hard when you already find out what you have to do. Usually, or most of the time, it's like you have to do special things you really don't want to do. For me, it's like cold water. I hate cold water. I hate cardio. I hate a lot of things. But
so there's not much left.
But for me, it's more, I mean, especially when I take a couple of days off or weeks off of my usual training, when I'm not sticking to my regular program, when we're training like, okay, we have 2 weeks of fun training and we just train what we want and how much we want, then it's very hard for me to stay motivated every time. And it's not just doing training, it's also in your private life. Doesn't matter if you're at home or at work. Everybody has things he don't want to do, but he's doing it anyway. But the big game changer for me was like, okay, I know I don't want to do it, but I have to try to do my best now to have the best result and really be happy after that. For example, can compare to cooking. I hate cooking for myself. And when I cook for myself, it's usually I put everything in there, mix it together, and just eat it. That's it. But that, I mean, I'm not hungry anymore, but I don't feel good after that. Mm-hmm. And now I also tried, like, I prepare everything very exactly the way I really want to eat it, and really take some time for cooking. And I recognize I'm eating less than before when I mix everything up, and it also takes me longer to eat because I really want to feel, or I really want to try to taste everything what I put in there. And that's also with my training. If I'm going to a cold water bath after training, I don't want to do it. And there's a big difference if I'm going in there and do it anyway, or if I'm going to stay there, concentrate for a minute and think about what are you willing to achieve with this cold water. Mm-hmm. And it's way easier for me if I really concentrate before, and it's really, you're way happier if you do that than just telling yourself you have to do it now, go in there fast and get out there fast. So that was a big game changer for me.
Okay, let's talk about the cold water experience yesterday. So you stepped into the water, and it's pretty cold. It's about 0 degrees outside, so it's a decent temperature, right? Yeah. It's not that you're jumping into a hot tub or something. So Tobi stepped in, about to like belly button height. Stayed in there for like, I don't know, felt like 3 minutes, and got out. All right. And so you came back in and you said,
it fucked me up so much in myself. Like, I was standing out there for 3 minutes. And
you said your balls hurt.
Yeah, it was fucking cold. But the worst thing was going back in, and that I have had to tell myself, yeah, you went into the cold water, but you haven't done the thing you have had to do. That was like, okay.
Okay, but I forced you to.
Yeah.
I told you this is the worst thing you can do, because you're like, you told yourself and your nervous system something going into it, and then you basically, I mean, let's be honest, you pussied out of it.
Yeah.
And told yourself, no, it's okay. I mean, my balls hurt and it's so cold and I got other stuff to do. And I think that's a that's a major nuance of coaching as well. Like the same hand that's going to babysit you and explain to you every single process, every single second of how to breathe in a cold water, and I'm going to be there for you. I'm going to hold your hand. That same hand is going to slap you in the face hard because you're just pussying out of it. This has nothing to do with like you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to injure yourself, and don't be a pussy and do that 250 kilo back squat every day. No, this is like at some point you have to have somebody that's going to hold you accountable.
And that's what's coaching about. And I also think everybody needs somebody who's coaching him or her or helping him in his training, in his personal life. That's what life is about, helping each other, coaching each other, and try to be the best version of yourself.
And that's the approach you want to have in the Greg's Academy, which is in that first phase of your, whether it's your training or coaching, like that, I'm just throwing a random number out there, 12 months of your training, 12 months of your coaching experience, of your starting phase, you have to be babysitted through it. There's no way around it because you're scared, you have like anxiety, you have fear, you think you're failing every single time. Like I'm going to give you that 10, 12, 18 months of babysitting while holding you accountable. But the next step is, all right, now we're going into coaching. Like I'm going to call you out on stuff after X and Y amount of months. And it's a blurry line. It's not a fixed state, but as a coach, you have to realize, okay, the babysitting phase is over. And now it's about, okay, you're either going to do it or you don't. And I don't care if you do it or you don't, but you got to live with the consequences of it. And the last step for me after coaching is like mentoring. Is okay, you've been going through, I don't know, 3-5 years, and then you're just gonna be there if that person needs you. Like if that person has a question, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once every, I don't know, 2 weeks, doesn't matter. And I think that's what I did wrong in my own coaching, because I stayed with a lot of people in that first phase for way too long, probably forever in their training experience. But at some point, like you have to show them, okay, now it's on you. And I'm still going to be there for you, but now it's on you. The babysitting phase is over. You know way more than you can do. And that's a problem. And now it's on you to take action and do the stuff. Right?
So that's also your aim with the Greg's Academy?
Oh, absolutely. So the first phase for athletes is it's a structured day-to-day, week by week, month by month, theoretical, practical application, reinforcement learning approach. Like we're gonna walk you through it. Yes, you still have to do the work, but like there's so many opportunities for you to ask questions. Like you can text us, you can go to the Facebook group, you have to have somebody on a daily basis that's going to be there for you. Period. And that's the first phase. And the second phase, which is probably about like a year or 18 months later, the coaching service is going to change. Like the structure of it is going to change. So I'm thinking about having like a weekly one-on-one call, whether it's audio, video, because nobody will ask questions in a group call like a year in. Nobody. You're just too scared of sharing your experiences yet.
Exactly.
Which is fine. I mean, this is totally human. And the last phase, the mentoring phase, is I think in this phase, and this is going to be totally different for people in terms of the time it takes them.
So we have 3 phases.
Yep. So we got the, however you want to call it, the babysitting phase, the hand-holding phase, then we got the coaching phase and the mentoring phase. And probably the mentoring phase is going to be about more like group call style, and you're starting to create your own little on-site tribe, whether it's you training at home with your girlfriend or whether it's you organizing something in a park. It doesn't really matter, but I think the coaching approach needs to change throughout your training and coaching experience.
So the aim is for like me then, I'm gonna call my dudes, tell them on the weekend, guys, 3 p.m. Gonna meet up at the corner where we usually meet, and everybody brings some equipment, and then we're gonna.
Yeah, what I want to see is through the online Greg's Academy an increase in on-site training, because I think online training per se, as we see now, is tough.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Zoom calls are great. Like, it's probably the only chance we have right now, but no one really likes it. We don't, because we don't get to like touch people, like coach them, etc. People don't get the personal like experience in the gym, etc. It's probably the best we can do, or that's what I thought we could do back in March and April. But I think we can go a step further and provide like an online base for people to learn. But my thing is, okay, let's not stop here. And now you're able to create your own on-site tribe, and tribe means a natural evolution of your own personality. That means, okay, so if 5 people will meet in the park and train, like do sandbags and rope pulls and stuff, there will be a natural evolution towards somebody that will be some sort of coach for them. Like, just from a personality standpoint, there will be one person taking care of that group. And 4 or 5, they just want to train, and that's fine. So I want to help people find like a match between the personality and like what they actually want to do on site. Because now it's, okay, I want to become a coach, and I start coaching, and basically you have no practice time, because you're gonna jump in and you're gonna use the rhythm of the gym, you're gonna use the programming of the gym. Like, you have no room for exploration. Like, you cannot figure stuff out, and I think that's well, I do think that's not the right approach. And we shall see. And what if out of that group of 5 or 10 people, somebody will be like, all right, I got a bigger garage and it's empty. Let's just meet twice a week.
Yep.
And not just once on a weekend. So I think we can help through online education. We can help a lot towards creating true coaches and true gym owners again. Because my perception of opening up a gym was, okay, I need a huge space, a lot of equipment. I'm gonna steal a programming methodology from somewhere and behave like I'm the best friend of everybody, make the members happy, and barely make a living. And, well, didn't work out, let's be honest. But that's fine. And the Greg's Academy is not an online course, because, again, online courses are okay, they're good, it's a good step. But I want to use that technology, and I want to use that platform for providing the structure. And the empathy and the coaching part needs to be added, as we explained before, in the 3 phases. Otherwise, it won't work.
Exactly. It's also like childs learn to play with each other. They find new games, invite other kids to play with them, and they make some rules their own. Then they give it a try, and then they recognize it doesn't work out. So they're going to talk to each other and find a new way. And that's also what coaching is about, or training then in small groups when you meet with your guys in the park. Some of you is going to be the coach maybe, and after a couple months, another guy is going to come up and tell you, hey, dude, I did some whatever athletics for 2 or 3 months, and I can do the warm-up and show you something new. And that's also, it doesn't mean that somebody has to be the coach the whole time. It's more like learn how to coach each other, how to play with each other, how to help each other. And that's what all this is about, I think.
Yeah. So I want to use the technology and all the demons that are out there, the AIs and the computers and the robots, to actually use the technology to make us more human again, and not follow like a certain path that we think we have to do to become a coach or become a gym owner. No, let's help people to let that same thing evolve naturally. Because I think we've been lied to many times how this should work and how you become a coach and how you should become a gym owner. And we're gonna try it differently and see how it works.
Excited for that.
Exactly. All right, guys. 30 minutes in, time went by fast. We're gonna use the last couple of seconds because I wanna use that platform for helping other great entrepreneurs here in Klosterneuburg/Vienna that we know personally. So huge shout out to Adi and Simone from Karma Food. They're doing great stuff and they're still providing like takeaway food. They're literally around the corner from us. So if you want to support another small business, another small company, go to the website. It's karmafood.at or com. Tobi's going to check it out. Order from them, buy from them. They're pouring their heart into it. They have several locations. I think 3 in Vienna, 1 in Klosterneuburg, 4 in Vienna, 1 in Klosterneuburg. Yeah. Whatever. They're providing amazing food. Like Adi is originally from India, and his mom is cooking in his kitchen, and it's like that's what food should be about. Every time I walk in there, I smell the spices, and it's just a really good place to be. So go and check them out.
Karmafood.at.
Karmafood.at. Order, visit them, just support them, and do something good for small business owners. All right, guys, that's it for today. Let's hear you next time.
Sweet.
Have a good day. Bye.
See ya.